Crop tees or oversized shirts and hoodies are just everywhere in men's fashion right now. But how short is too short? And how do you nail the right length of the items for your body type? More of you guys out there than ever really are considering not just how a piece looks, but how the silhouette and the fit directly affect how they sit on your body, and of course, what those items can do for your proportions. But still, I regularly see people asking questions like, how long should my tees be? How long should my shirts be? Should I take them to a tailor maybe? How cropped is too cropped? And how short should my hoodies be if I still want them oversized? Well, I can help you guys out today by answering all of your questions around this topic. And trust me, it's a lot more simple than you think. I'll start by saying my answers will mostly be based on my preferences towards how I like clothes to fit me. But that doesn't mean all of this is totally subjective though. There is still very much a generic acceptance of how long, say, a shirt should be. I will say though, how you like your clothing to fit on your body is totally up to you. You might like something a little longer or something a little shorter. In my eyes, fashion is and will always be totally subjective. There is no right or wrong here. So if you like the look of anything I'm wearing, it will all be linked down below for you. And if you enjoy or find the video helpful, please do drop a like and subscribe for more great men's fashion videos. Right, let's begin. Let's start with the classic, the humble t-shirt. A good tee for me lets you move without flashing skin and still shows enough of your leg line to keep your proportions complementary to your body. It's really a balance. Anything on the longer end and you start getting into long line tee territory, or you just look like you're wearing your older brother's hand-me-downs. Going longer in length also drastically shortens your legs and just generally makes you appear shorter as well. On the flip side, if your tee is creeping above your belt when your arms are resting down naturally and you can see the waistband of your underwear, well then you're moving towards something that is generally going to be seen as too cropped. The ideal length for a tee, at least to me, should sit anywhere below the waistband of your pants and hit mid-fly at the longest. That really is, I think, the sweet spot. And this works for all types of tees, normal fit, slim fit, or oversized. If you're really trying to emphasize your legs, which I saw a lot of people asking, keep that sweet spot in mind, but go for some pants with a higher rise. That way you can go for a slightly shorter tee. This then makes your legs appear even longer and still keeps the tee in that sweet spot as discussed. Quick note on tank tops, as I'll probably get a few questions about them. I would say just go for a length that you can comfortably tuck in. I don't really ever wear mine untucked, but if you do, go for that sweet spot I just mentioned. Long sleeve shirts, I think, fall into three categories, and there are different acceptable lengths for each. But how long they should be, I think, really depends on how you're planning to wear them. Do you want to be able to tuck that shirt in? Or do you want to wear the shirt unbuttoned over an inner layer? The first category is easy, buttoned up but untucked. For this, I follow the same sweet spot rule as the tee. Just below the waistband of your pants and no longer than mid-fly. Clean, balanced, and super flattering. Second category is wearing it unbuttoned as a layering piece. Maybe over something like a tank top or a slim fit tee. Here I find you can generally get away with a bit more length because your waistline is still visible underneath. So if the shirt is that little bit longer, it still won't drown you out or make your legs look tidy. Third category is shirts that you're wearing tucked in and buttoned up. In this case, I recommend going a little bit longer. Having some extra length here just helps you get a cleaner tuck in general. Too short and it will pop out constantly throughout the day, which is super annoying. Too long and it awkwardly bunches around the top of your thighs, which feels awful. This can create little bumps in the side of your pants, which can look sloppy. So, quick recap. Category 1, untucked and buttoned. Just below the waistband to mid-fly. Category 2, unbuttoned but layered. This is the most forgiving, I would say, anything below your waistband to the bottom of your fly. And finally, third category, tucked in and buttoned up. I would go a little longer, mid-fly to the bottom of the fly, just for the cleanest tucks. And quickly before we move on, I just want to talk about sleeve lengths here, but don't worry, this is much less complicated. You ideally want the sleeves of your shirt to end right at your wrist bone, not halfway down your hand or climbing up your forearm. If it's too long, you again can look sloppy. Too short, and you look like you shrunk your shirt in the wash. Bonus tip, if you're cuffing the sleeves, a clean double cuff should rest around mid-forearm. Any higher, and I'd probably ask you to help fix my cart. For short sleeve shirts, I would generally follow the same recommendations I've given for long sleeve shirts in terms of length, and generally consider how you plan to wear them and how they fall into those three categories. However, sleeve length on short sleeve shirts is a bit more nuanced, and I would say generally comes down just to preference. If you are wanting a standard sleeve length for these short sleeve shirts, I would say anything between mid bicep and just above the elbow. But that's definitely not a length you have to follow. I am a flowy, oversized linen shirt lover, and quite often these types of shirts will have wider, longer sleeves that hit me even below my elbow. But these work because of the type of shirt they are. I'd say for your short sleeve shirts, if you are going for that oversized, relaxed, breezy kind of fit, then really don't worry if the sleeves do fall a little beyond what I've recommended. Okay, here's the important one. Lastly, let's talk about sweatshirts and hoodies. This one gets tricky because people do like their hoodies oversized, and nowadays there are quite a few different types of oversized hoodies, but there's definitely still a right way to do it. If you're going oversized, cool. Just make sure the length still does not go past halfway down your fly. This, I have to say, is so important with really heavy and bulky pieces like hoodies. Otherwise, you can very quickly start losing shape and proportion here. If your hoodie is too oversized and too long, it will just eat your whole silhouette. And this is why I've always recommended you guys to never just size up to get an oversized fit for your hoodies, or really any top for that matter. Because of how sizing charts work and how typical ready-to-wear clothing is mass manufactured, sizing up from your normal size also means the length of the item increases too, and then that item will probably be too long for your body. If you're looking for that perfect oversized fit, you really need to find something that has specifically been designed to be oversized and still have that shorter length. I quite like my sweatshirts and hoodies to fit me slightly shorter though, and there are two ways that I go about this. Either I'll deliberately get myself a hoodie with a more exaggerated crop that hits me perfectly around the waistband of my pants, or I'll grab a more regular fitting hoodie, making sure it hits around mid-fly, and then I'll fold up the waistband to crop it to the length that I like. Both of these types of hoodies, no matter how oversized they are, because they've got that shorter length, still elongate my legs, but going that little bit shorter allows me the option to leave a little bit of my t-shirt peeking out underneath, which can look really nice and provide a little bit of balance to the outfit. And that, I hope, should answer most of your questions when it comes to this topic, at least for torso layers. I know some of you might be wondering about outerwear lengths too, things like parkas or bombers or overcoats, that sort of thing, but that I would say is definitely a beast of its own, so I'll save that idea for its own video when the colder weather rolls around. Bit of a quick one this week, I know guys. I've actually been in London most of the week shopping, so I needed something quick and relatively easy to put together. New summer pickups video will be coming soon though. If you did enjoy this video or found it helpful, make sure to drop this video a like and subscribe too. And if you're after more great men's fashion content from me, YouTube thinks you'll love this video here, so go and check it out. Thanks for watching guys, have a wonderful week. I'll see you in the next one. See you then.